Hello guys, welcome back. This is the part 2 of our shirt tutorial. Here we are doing the sewing. In the first part I showed you everything about the cutting process. Sorry this video didn't come in time due to unforeseen circumstances. So this is the sewing tutorial. Stay with me. So the first thing I did was to bring my shirt, the front part, like this, and I used my hemming gum to gum the button allowance because I didn't want to run any stitch around that area. I preferred using my hemming gum and I used it. So I went ahead to fold it 1 inch. Remember we left 2 inches allowance, right? 1 inch at first, and I ironed it and I went ahead to fold the remaining 1 inch like this. After that I went ahead to cut the hemming gum exactly the length and I placed it inside. I opened the first layer and I placed it and I covered it back like this, and I went ahead to sprinkle my water on it. If you have your steam iron, you can use it so that the gum will be able to hold very well, and I went ahead to iron it very well so that it will be able to hold the button allowance together and it will give it some kind of thickness, right? And I went ahead to repeat the same process on the other side like this. While I was done ironing, I went ahead and introduced the back part of our shirt, and I went ahead to join the shoulders together, right side facing each other. I stitched it by half of an inch. I repeated the same process on the other shoulder. After that, I introduced my sleeve, the sleeve we cut earlier, and I folded in the hemming allowance that we left. I took it to my ironing table. I ironed it so that it will lie down flat for me to sew very well, and this is it. After stitching it all the way through, I went ahead and folded it like this so I can locate the center and notch it. After locating the center, I made a notch there. After the notch, I brought in the shirt, located the armhole and the shoulder line. I placed this notch area that we cut out earlier, right side facing each other like this, and I went ahead to stitch. I started from the middle at that notch area. Okay, you start from there to the other end. When you're through, you still go back to the other end. After that, I went ahead to cut the excesses that were on the sleeve, and I went ahead to join the sides together. After I was done joining the sides, I went ahead to work on the collar, and the first thing I did was to take the round neck measurement, and it gave me 17 inches. So after I finished measuring, I brought in a small piece of paper and I started drafting my collar. The first thing I did was to divide the round neck measurement by 2, and it gave me 8.5 inches. I went ahead to mark the 8.5 inches on the paper there. From that 8.5 inches, I stepped up by half of an inch, and I used my curve rule to connect it to the other side like this. After I was done with that, I went ahead to mark our collar stand, which is 1 inch. I used 1 inch for the collar stand. I marked it all the way to the other end like this. The reason we went up by half of an inch there is so that our collar will be able to relax very well on the neck area. Okay, so after I was done, I went ahead to still connect it like this, and our collar stand is ready. The next thing is to draft our main collar. For the main collar, at that end of the collar stand there, I stepped in by 1 inch like this. From that 1 inch, I started measuring our collar, which I wanted mine to be 2.5, not too wide, not too small. So I measured 2.5 all the way to the other end, and I still connected it with the curve rule like this. Don't forget to place your coverage in a slanting manner, just like the way I did. When I was done with that, I went ahead to connect it to the other end like this. And now we have our collar and our collar stand. I went ahead to cut out everything. From there, I transferred everything on fabric. So now I brought in my fabric, I folded it into two like that, and I still folded it again. Remember, we are cutting two parts, the collar stand too and the collar itself too. So I folded it like this. Can you see how I did it? I went ahead to iron it and press it down very well. After that, I placed my paper on it. We are cutting on fold also, remember that, like this. And I went ahead to add 1/2 inch allowance on all the sides, and I went ahead to cut. After this one, I repeated the same process on the collar stand. I also added 1/2 inch sewing allowance all round, and I went ahead to cut out. After cutting it out, I ironed my interfacing on it to give it some thickness. And now this is the collar and the collar stand. After I was done with that, I went ahead to sew the collar itself. I placed right side facing each other, and I stitched the upper part of the collar just like this. I went ahead to stitch the sides, and at the end of the day, I had 15 inches. Remember, our collar stand is 17 inches, so we minus 1 inch from the two edges, and what was remaining was 15 inches. So this collar right here is about 15 inches, where the collar stand is 16 inches. While I was done with that, I went ahead to trim off the edges so that if you remove it inside, it's going to lie down very flat. And remember to notch, okay? I notched and I took it to my pressing iron. I pressed it and I came back and top stitched on it like this. So when I was done top stitching, I brought in the collar stand and I notched the midpoint of all of them. I placed one under, placed one on top like this, and I started sewing from that middle, from the middle all the way to the other end. While I was done from this side, I still turned the other side and stitched it all the way to the other end. While I was done stitching, I went ahead to notch and press it down with my iron so that it will be able to relax. After that, I brought in my shirt and I located the center of the neck area and I notched it like this. I also brought in the collar. I folded it like this. Make sure this side is aligning, and I notched the center as well. Just arrange it the way I did. I notched the center, and the next thing I did was to bring in the shirt and the collar. So I placed the notched collar on the notched area of the shirt, and I went ahead to stitch it, one part of the collar stand to the shirt like this, right side facing each other. So I started stitching in the middle. This will enable everything to align properly. Let one side not be having more excesses than the other side. I stitched all the way through. While I was done with this side, I still went ahead and stitched the other end like this. After I was done stitching, just watch closely. I went ahead and flipped it over like this. Just watch closely. You understand what I'm trying to say? I flipped it over like this so that I'll be able to close up the sides. So after arranging it, I went ahead, I brought my pen and made that curve. You know that curve that is always at the collar stand there? I used my pen to create it so that my machine will be able to follow it properly. I cut out the excesses like this and I folded it at the right side like this. Just look at this, and I repeated the same process on this other side, flip it over like this, use my pen to create the curvy effect, and I went ahead to stitch it. So while I was done doing that, I still flipped it over like this, took it to my table, ironed it properly, and I tucked in the other part of the collar stand like this, and I top stitched all the way to the other end. You have to be careful while you're doing this. Have to do it slowly, don't rush. So the next thing I did was to top stitch around this area like this. I top stitched all the way to the other end. After top stitching, our shirt is almost ready, our collar is ready. I went ahead to hem the edges of the shirt, the hemline, and this is the result of our shirts. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you have any question, leave it in the comment section. Bye, see you next time.